well, former employee of the school district level. So this is for the public and council's record. And kind of a insight to the character of our newly elected school board member, Kenia, not Dr. President. Okay, I moved into a back house in which Kenia was a supposed landlord. Well, she actually told us she was the partial owner of the property. This contractual agreement began in March, and it was quite pleasant, and I taught her son guitar. In November, though, however, the property, the front house and the back house, was served with an eviction notice around November 4th. I called the number on the notice, and it was, to my surprise, the person who answered was, in fact, the real and full landowner. Moreover, he stated he had no idea we were living on the premises. In fact, the property owner in Kenia's contractual agreement specifically stipulated that there is no sublet renting. So he also told me that she was not paying rent. That was the reason for the eviction initially. In effect, she was pocketing my family's rent monies and not being a responsible tenant. My family has reached an agreement with the true property owner now and are now secure. However, upon Kenia's eviction, my family requested our deposit and last month's rent numerous occasions to no avail. She actually has been quite difficult to find, so hard in fact that my mom actually had to serve her court papers today. And another note is that she had the audacity to cash my family's November rent check, which was stopped, even though she was no longer a tenant of the property and definitely not a landlord to our tenancy. My family had to actually threaten the bank with legal action in order to secure monies, which was a shameful ordeal financially and mentally. I'm pretty much just like a humble tenant to this little back house, and I literally didn't have enough money to go on to the next month because of that. That's all I really have to say. This is just, I just want justice in our systems, you know? Thank you.
Next, Ryan Castro.
I'm Ryan Castro. I'm a resident and a voter here in Whittier. In September, myself and Kenia Davalos came to an agreement that I was going to work and help her with her campaign for $10 an hour, and that I was going to be paid at the end of October. So I continue to work and in support of you and your campaign, over about 70 hours worth. I canvassed, put up lawn signs, phone bank for hours. When my car wasn't working, I walked door to door to talk to people about how dedicated to your work you were and how much integrity you have. I'm now fully aware that not only did I lie, but I honestly believe the truth is you are the complete opposite of everything I said. When I inquired about being paid for my services, you said at the end of November. This was, of course, not the original date we agreed upon. After your campaign was a success, I was unable to reach you. You did not return any of my phone calls. You moved out of your residence and did not leave any way for your campaigners to get a hold of you. This is why I came here tonight, because I didn't know where to find you. Hopefully me and your other loyal campaigners will eventually get paid, or I will continue to follow through with small claims action I filed against you. Since you haven't paid voluntarily, you will be forced to pay by the courts.
Okay, thank you. And we have Rodney Moharo.
Good evening. My name is Rodney Moharo. I run an organization which supports adults with developmental disabilities to live independently in the community. I'm a resident, a voter, and a business owner. Kenia Davalos is a former friend and a former financial bookkeeper for my organization. I recently terminated her due to an ongoing internal investigation, which I cannot say too much about at this point. But what I can say is that I feel a moral obligation to warn everyone here tonight, including the board, that Ms. Davalos is a scam artist. She's capable of creating and recreating herself via PR firms and online reputation builders, such as Reputation.com, and she has done so many times in her lifetime. Kenia, I was your biggest supporter. That's why I agreed to let you use my office as your campaign headquarters. That's why I allowed you, your family, and your former fiance to rent one of my homes here in Whittier. Instead of valuing my support, you took advantage. First, you never paid the agreed rent for the office space, which was your campaign headquarters for over 4 months. Now, our internal audit has reviewed thousands of dollars of unpaid office supplies that you used for your campaign. I have sent both you and your attorney invoices, which you've never acknowledged. There are countless others who have been to my office demanding payment for work performed during your campaign. In addition, the audit shows that you have not been paying rent at the home that I rented to you. As a result, you had to be evicted from the property, and when you finally left, you left the home filthy mess, unfit for a family home. There was animal feces throughout, unkept distance and filth, holes in the wall, broken windows. All of this will cost me thousands of dollars to repair. Please be advised that my insurance carrier is currently looking into this and will look into it. You even left your dog there. You left them without food and water for over 10 days.
Oh my God.
And in case you were wondering, I found him a good home. What kind of person does that, you might ask yourself? I didn't know Kenia Davalos. I want to be clear here tonight to expose this predator for who she really is and to caution the district to do their due diligence. Kenia is an expert in finance, no fact denied about that, and she's an expert in deception. She should not have access to the many valuable resources of this school district. Thank you.
We have Emma Drugman.